I walked into it thinking that it was going to be the kitty's titties, the cat's pajamas, the bee's knees. And ultimately, it was not. So for me, that's why I put it at C tier. Brandon Herrera thinks that he could take White Claws as his thing when it comes to the gun YouTuber sphere. Well, I'm going to let him know that he is wrong. Today, we are going to be ranking every single flavor of White Claw, including the 70 calories and including the pure. We're going to be using a tier list. This tier list I will have a link to down below if you would like to do it for yourself. Go ahead and post your results down below if you would like. But this is the definitive, in my opinion, White Claw tier list. Let's get into it. Now, the last two videos I made were a little controversial, so I wanted to get some more lighthearted content. Let's get into it today. We have our Faro Concept Slickster with body armor, level 4 ceramic plates by LTC. You might also notice that you have a spot that is designed to be able to carry spare White Claws. This is not for magazines, this is not for medical gear, this is for White Claws. It's very important that you have a spot to quickly reload. You never know when you're going to need to. So here we go. We got all the flavors down here, including the 70 cal, including the pure. It's going to be S, A, B, C, D, and F. S is obviously the best, F is obviously the worst. I'm going to start out with one that I think is rather controversial. Many people believe this flavor is top tier. I think that I was led to believe before I tried it that it was the kitty's titties, the cat's pajamas, the best thing since sliced bread. Ultimately, I was let down heavily, and that is watermelon. This is going to be a solid C tier. It is not a bad flavor in my opinion, but the way it was described to me, I was expecting to be sucking on an alcoholic Jolly Rancher, and that is not what I received. What I received was a very watered down watermelon essence, which I guess you can say is every White Claw flavor, but I was led astray. I was led to believe that this was the second coming of Jesus in a can, and it was not. Now, these next two, this next one, this might not surprise anyone, but pure. What do I think of the pure flavor, aka the non-flavored flavor? As if White Claw could get any less flavorful, they decided to have in their product line a non-flavored White Claw. This solid F tier, just to let you know what we're about. If I wanted to drink something with no flavor in it and bubbly, I would make a vodka soda. If I wanted something that was non-alcoholic and bubbly, I drink seltzer water. I see no point of buying a White Claw that does not have flavor. The whole point of it is that it's slightly flavored, right? Or at least that's my opinion. So pure F tier. Tangerine. Okay, Tangerine. This one, I'm going to put it in A tier. Now, it's not quite my favorite. It's not quite with the elite, but I think that Tangerine serves as a good point of it's going to please anyone. No one's going to think super strongly either for or against it. I know some people would put this up in S tier, but for me, I'm going to have to keep that one down in A because it's not quite excellent. Now, after saying that, you might think to yourself, Reno, what do you consider the best? Well, this is a pick that I think is going to be slightly controversial because I think a lot of people would say that it's nothing really special, but lemon flavor for me is a sleeper S tier. I think that the lemon flavor White Claw is one of the best ones that they have, but nobody really thinks about it because there's so many other citrus flavors in the lineup that are a little bit more pronounced in which ways, but I think lemon is honestly, it's top tier. Now, black cherry. Black cherry for me, honestly, I think I would speak for most people when I say this, F tier. Black cherry, solid F tier. It tastes like cough syrup. It's one of the last flavors that I ever want to drink, which is why you see that I have one here ready to go as a backup. It's not one of the first that I would go for. It's usually one of the last ones that I have left to drink. It's an F tier. Sorry about that, black cherry. Clementine is one of the 70 calorie options, and while it is very similar to Tangerine, me personally, I find that it's just a little bit less flavorful, but the fact that it's 70 calories keeps it out of being C tier. So for me, that's going to be a solid B tier for the 70 calorie Clementine. And, you know, I don't think that's very controversial. It's pretty good, but I think Tangerine tastes better, but it's not quite as many calories. But really, if you're drinking 17 of these things, 70 calories versus 100, who cares? So next one, I'm going to go to mango. Mango for me is another one of those S tiers. It is just a It is an excellent option. Lemon and mango, in my opinion, the best. The two that would be in the solid S tier category for me. Raspberry. What I am currently drinking here is a raspberry. This is one that I would think that could be good, but it could be bad. It could very easily go the route of being like black cherry, where it tastes like cough syrup. It could very easily go the route of tangerine or one of the other citrus. Ultimately, for me, I'm gonna have to put tangerine in a D category. It's not that good. It tastes not quite as bad to me as black cherry, but it's not quite F tier. I would definitely choose raspberry over a pure or a black cherry, but it's not good either. It's not quite watermelon. Watermelon is a good neutral. I feel like nobody really feels super strongly about it. But for me, raspberry is D tier. This leaves us with Ruby Grapefruit, Natural Lime, and the Pineapple 70 Calorie. Now, I'm going to move to Ruby Grapefruit, which I might just pop that open here, get a good taste on it. Ooh wee. You know, Ruby Grapefruit, solid B tier. I'm going to say it. I don't think it's excellent. I don't think it's quite as good as Tangerine, but you know, it's good. This is a solid flavor. Had to finish off the Wounded Warrior before we move on to the next. If you hear a dog barking in the background, yeah, that's a dog barking in the background. It's my dog. He's a cute little dude, but the neighbors are moving, and he's got to let him know how he feels about it. They make a lot of noise. He's not happy. This leaves us with 70 Calorie Pineapple and Natural Lime. Honestly, these are both excellent flavors. While I don't personally think that either of them belong in S tier, I think they're very hard to place. See, Natural Lime, whew, let out a good burp. Natural Lime, I think, is a solid flavor. It's definitely not C tier. I don't think it's S tier. So for me, I'd have to put this in between, somewhere between A and B. So, man. I think it's better than the Ruby Grapefruit and the 70 Calorie Clementine. I'm having a real hard time with this one. I'm going to put it in A tier. I'm going to be generous. Natural Lime, you get an A tier for me, buddy. So, we don't have many left. In fact, we only have one left, and that's the 70 Calorie Pineapple. Well, really, there's plenty of space that we could put this one. I feel like it's nothing distinct. It is a different type of citrus, but I feel like a lot of these flavors sort of blend together. I'm going to have to honestly put the 70 Calorie at B tier. I don't think it's quite as good, in my opinion, as Natural Lime or Tangerine. I would also put lemon and mango up there. I know some people really dislike mango, but for me, mango is S tier all the way. I know that pure and black cherry are very polarizing. Many of my friends, straight up, if you ask them, hey, do you want a White Claw? They'll say, yes, anything but black cherry, and nobody in their right mind would ever purchase a pure White Claw. So that's going to be a solid F tier. Raspberry, I think that might be a little controversial. I think some people like it, but ultimately I think it tastes too close to that cough syrupy taste for me. Watermelon. Me putting watermelon at C tier, it's not that I think it's bad. I just personally was very let down by it. And it's ultimately sad, I guess, but it is, you know, that's just how it is. Not everybody's expectations and realities and experiences are going to be the same. You might have walked into watermelon with a fresh face with no bias in mind, but for me, I walked into it thinking that it was going to be the kitty's titties, the cat's pajamas, the bee's knees, and ultimately it was not. So for me, that's why I put it at C tier. B tier. B tier is a solid tier. I think that a lot of people are going to take offense to me placing their favorite flavors at B tier, but you know, I think that the Clementine is basically a not quite as flavorful tangerine. The pineapple is pretty good, but it's just, you know, it's not quite there. I think pineapple is such a distinct flavor that it needs to be stronger if I was going to be putting it up in a top tier. But it being 70 calories, I guess, is cool for some people. But for me, if I'm drinking 16 of these, yeah, calories mean nothing. I'm just going to pack that right on. Ruby Grapefruit, I think it's pretty good. Some people disagree, but for me, that's a good B tier. And then A and S tier. Ultimately, I think the fact that lemon and mango, they're just so, in my mind, when I think of White Claw, if I had to choose to drink 2 flavors for the rest of my life, I would have to choose lemon and mango. Natural lime and tangerine are also excellent picks, but I don't quite think they're up there for me. But I'd love to hear what you guys think. Well, on the topic of White Claws, my fiance actually makes these candles out of typically wine bottles, but recently we figured out that we could cut the top off of a White Claw can, fill that up with wax and scent, and make those. So if you're interested in a White Claw candle, follow Katie's Crafted Corner on Instagram. I'll leave a photo and a link down to that if you would like. It's something that we think is cool. But yeah, if you want to buy one of those, they should be available in the coming week or 2. I don't really know exactly when, based on the time that this video goes live and based on the time that she's got some up on her storefront. But yeah, you guys know the drill. Have fun, be safe, stay dangerous. Peace. All right, who am I kidding? I got a shotgun and claw, right? I feel like that's legally required. If you guys want to know where to get this jacket, I'll have a link down to it below if you want to look like an idiot like me. I am going to be opening this with a 5.56 round, since apparently all the boomers would say that the 5.56 is only good for wounding and is a horrible battle cartridge. I guess we'll use it for shotgunning White Claws. That's the rest. From the dawn of time, from here on out, nobody is allowed to shoot 5.56 anymore. You have to only use it to shotgun beers and White Claws and such. See that? Nice clean pour. Ooh, it's very effective. Honestly, this went a lot better than I was expecting it to go. So then you can just pop it open, widen it out, get a nice, good, wide surface. Go ahead and drop this on a shot timer if you want. If you want to sync that up. I'm not going to figure out how long it's going to take for me to do this, but you can. Now, here's the thing. Shotgunning is an art. I'm not the best at it, but I like to think that I could probably take any gun YouTuber in a shotgun battle. Not an actual shotgun fight with guns, but with a claw. So, if anyone thinks they can beat me, let's see it. Peace.